Fighting for freedom, one podcast at a time.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Ian. Ian, how you doing today, man?
Good, Vinny. How you doing?
What's up, brother, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for coming out here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come meet with me, meet with us, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So grew up in New York, about an hour-ish, hour and a half or so north of New York City.
Okay.
Town called Poughkeepsie. Grew up there my whole life. Got a younger brother, younger sister. Grew up not really doing anything bad per se, but definitely was getting in trouble every now and then. Riding my bike around, just having fun being a kid. Joined the Navy when I was getting out of high school. So I was about 18 or 19 at the time.
Was there any influence to join the military, or you were just like...
So my dad was in the Army, but he was only in for like one enlistment, so it was like 4 years or 6 years. I don't remember exactly how long.
Okay.
And then a couple of my other buddies, they were joining the Army. One joined the Marines, and there was this guy, there's another friend of mine, he had joined the Navy also. He ended up going in as a GM. But other than that, so yeah, some influence. Other than that, no, not really. I just didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do after I got out of high school, and I knew that if I went to college, I was just gonna do a bunch of dumb shit. So I was like, I'm gonna do something else.
Don't we all? So
Yeah.
When you went into the military, you had a little bit of Army experience, but you joined the Navy, right? So how does that kind of differentiate with you picking your job? Did you do any research into it?
Yeah, so a little bit. When I was in high school, there was a program that my high school allowed certain students to become a part of. It essentially, you could choose almost like a career field, and they send you to a vocational school for half the day.
Okay.
And so I chose culinary arts because that's what I was interested in at the time. Went there for half of the day during the school day, and then as I was more figuring out that I knew I didn't want to do college, and I was trying to figure out what to do, I started looking into the Navy, realized that there was a CS billet, the cook job, and so I kind of went with that. Wasn't exactly what my recruiter told me it was going to be, but that's kind of how that all goes.
Yeah. So you were just like, fuck it, I'm going to be a cook?
Yeah, kind of. One of the things that he kind of sold me on, which I thought was cool and like kind of upset that it didn't happen. He was like, you guys get, he said that the CEO sometimes allows the ship to shoot like a cannon off into the water.
Yeah. And then Jack Sparrow comes swinging on a fucking rope.
Yeah, and then we can go and pick up like whatever fish or whatever sea life out of the water, and we can go cook it. And I was like, that sounds dope.
Yeah, you got all that fucking bullshit.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, little did you know all those fish that were in the ocean were lobsters that came out, and the CEO was like, hey, we're going to pair this with steak. I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
On the ship, when you get told you're getting steak and lobster for dinner, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's kind of like a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah.
So whenever we're doing a surf and turf, we're breaking out either lobster. So it's lobster tails. We usually don't have the whole lobster. Oh. Lobster tails, king crab legs.
Well, you got them
shrimp.
half off, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then we'll have like the whole ribeye, and we gotta cut them up into steaks. Yeah. So it's kind of, there's another aspect to that becomes pretty cool, because like when you're doing that, especially, so when we're on deployment, my regular crew is about like 350 people.
Okay.
And then when we're on deployment, we get Marines, because my ship is an amphib, so it's kind of like a taxi service for the Marines. So they load up all their equipment, Humvees, tanks, yada yada.
Gotcha.
And we just transport them overseas. So if you get in good with some of the Marines, essentially we're cutting all the ribeyes ourselves on the deli slicer, right? Well, working in the wardroom, which is where I worked most of the deployment, it has its own entrance to the galley. So you can cook the steaks there, and then like you can have your buddies come and get their steaks from you. So you'll cook it exactly how they want it.
Yeah,
but
you
I
give
mean,
them a good cut.
exactly.
Hook it
But
up.
exactly. But everything comes with a price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's how it is even with like the supply people, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Not saying that like they sell things on the side. I'm not saying that in no way, shape, or form. But it's always like you get good with certain people.
Exactly.
Because when, you know, the whole expression, you know, one hand, who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
But you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. But the other thing, because you had asked the question, is it a good thing or a bad thing about the whole surf and turf? So like I was saying, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that like, well, now you get to have steak and lobster or king crab legs, shrimp, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it usually means that there's gonna be some kind of downer that the CEOs better come over to the 1MC and like just shit on everybody's parade. There was one time we were supposed to be pulling into Dubai, and
that sounds beautiful.
Yeah. But again, supposed to.
You went to the ass end of it.
So what was it? We were supposed to be pulling into Dubai. We had already been out at sea for like 25 days or something, and again, so we're supposed to be pulling into Dubai. He said, came over the 1MC. Hey crew, today's gonna be surf and turf, and like already in my head, I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah. One, I gotta cook it all.
Yeah.
And two, this is some bullshit.
Yeah. Some fuck shit's about to happen.
Yeah.
So we made chow, everybody's eating, right? And coming through the line, getting their food. And he comes over to 1MC. He's like, yeah, pretty much. He's like, we're not pulling into Dubai. And we're not going to be pulling in for we're not going to pull into another port for like another 20 days. So, yeah. So by the end of it, we've been out to sea for 46, 47 days or something like that. And I think once you hit like the 40-day mark, everybody can go out on the forecastle and have like 2 beers. Yeah, I know. But so everybody got the opportunity to do that, and then I think we had pulled into either Bahrain or Oman, somewhere in the Middle East. I can't remember, but I mean, we ended up being there for a little while, so got an opportunity to get off the ship and have a good time now.
Well, now I'm curious, and I'm sure everybody listening is curious, because I've never been on a ship. I mean, that's a lie. I've been on the Norwegian Christian line. I've been on Carnival.
Yeah.
Those are my types of ships where, you get, waited on and all that good stuff. So when you get 2 beers, what kind of beers are they? Now I'm genuinely
They were.
Was it like just like a white can with like black lettering that said beer?
No, it was like. No, they were Bud Lights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 2 beers, that ain't going to cut it for a Bud Light.
No.
But I guess, you get what you can take at that point. You're out to sea for however long, and then you get a short extension of 20 days.
So, yeah, but, like, the other thing is that, like, you can – so do you know what the main ingredients in, like, lemon extract are?
No.
So, like, the first ingredient is alcohol.
Huh.
Right? So we get, like, a 12-ounce bottle of lemon extract, and – it's mostly alcohol with like a lemon flavor.
Gotcha.
So it's like lemon vodka almost.
I bet it's like the most sorority version.
Yeah. It's fucking disgusting. But like people were because I'm not trying to incriminate myself.
No, you're good. You're good. I think we could put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Of like,
people were definitely coming to look for it, and
well, I mean, eventually, you just get so crafty with these types of things.
Absolutely.
It's like, I've talked to people who have been like correctional officers or even just seen, former inmates on, social media and whatnot. And they're like, listen, like, you don't believe how crafty people can actually get when you are surrounded by the same people, the same 4 walls. It's the same concept for you. You're in the middle of the ocean. You can't just go anywhere.
Yeah, can't walk down the street to the liquor store, pick something up.
No. So I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you, at the end of the day, do what you gotta do and be a responsible adult. There's no really.
Yeah, we'll see. Once it's out of my hands, it's.
Yeah, I mean, this guy really likes fucking lemons. I don't know what to tell you.
He said he was putting in his tea.
There you. Hey, that is the thing. If you're sick, you gotta. Yeah. So, you're on the ship for however long at a time. Pick a amount of days for deployment. What do you guys have to do? Like, what do you like? Not like your job wise.
Like morale?
Yeah, like what do you guys?
So-
do you guys have like a PS5? Like, I
So
don't
yeah,
know,
you
what do
can
guys
you
do?
can bring your people bring their laptops, they bring DVD players. Most berthings usually have TVs that have a DVD player already hooked up.
Okay.
The not the berthing, but the ship has TVs throughout it also, and then everything is wired together.
Okay. Gotcha.
So there's I can't remember. It's either ICs or the ISs. It's not the ISs, or the ETs or one of those rates. But they have their own spaces on the ship where like they can go and they have these computers set up essentially, and they can put DVDs in, and there'll be like 6 different channels of movies playing.
Oh, okay.
And so you can turn the TV on in the berthing or on the mess decks or wherever your space is, and as long as you get a TV in there and it's wired through the ship, you can turn the TV on and just see what movies are playing, and then they usually come out with like a list of what movies are going to be playing, what days and what times.
Okay.
And so, and then also the other thing about it's pretty cool is like being in CS is like, for instance, I was working nights as a baker for like 2 months out of the deployment or something like that. So I was always making cakes, I was always making cookies, pizza dough, stuff like that. Yeah, right. So if I was making like fresh cookies and I wanted a certain movie to come on, I already know who to go talk to, and I knew what to bring with me. Like, hey man, can you put this movie on for me? He's like, what you got for me? I was like, there you go.
I'm really trying to watch Shrek right now.
Yeah, exactly. Shrek, or like my buddy, he wanted to watch Jack Reacher, the movie with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I just
like, here's some cookies, bring it to, ETSN, whatever.
Yeah, ET2 or whoever the hell it was at the time, but yeah.
He'll hook it up for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So, I mean, you're on this ship for so long with these people, so eventually, people come and go, but when you go out on deployment, you may not know somebody, but at the end of that deployment, you're like homies with this person pretty much.
Yes and no, because again, it depends on where. So being a cook, you see everyone.
Yeah, because everybody has to eat.
Exactly. But then it also depends, like for a lot of the engineers, I didn't see them because they're always down working on something, whereas like the GMs who aren't always doing a whole lot on deployment because their job mainly consists around like the guns on the ship, the turrets and stuff.
They shoot the cannons and lobsters come up, and then you guys get it.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Now I get it. Write that down.
Yeah. But like the other rates, like the technology rates, so like ITs, ETs, CTs, ISs, all of them, you see them a lot because the OSs too, because they stand watches. So like the OSs, they do like the radar.
Okay.
So they have to stand a certain watch for a certain amount of time, and then like they'll get off, and then essentially like they have the rest of the day off, even though we're all out of sea and they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But
they got their liberty.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone needs downtime, especially shit must be crazy after a while where you're just like,
yeah,
I need to fucking get off this big thing of tin that's floating with all these.
One of the other things that we do for like morale is we call it a steel beach. So we bring like charcoal, and we bring like these big like charcoal grills, and we'll go out on like the flight deck, or sometimes we'll do it in the well deck when we're on deployment, and essentially all the higher ups, the leadership, so officers, sometimes the first classes, but usually like the chiefs and up, they'll go and they'll like cook all the food for us, because it'll be like burgers, hot dogs, brats.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. What else? Stuff like that, and then we'll have like the bags of chips and shit, and like soda and whatnot.
A huge barbecue. And
and then as long as the seas are like calm and everything, everybody will be out on the flight deck. We'll have like footballs to throw around, because the flight deck is like 50, 75 yards. It's pretty big.
Yeah, no one can throw a ball that far.
Yeah. So we're all out there playing like cornhole, just doing dumb shit.
Has there ever been an instance where like someone like threw a ball or kicked the ball and you're just like, that's fucking going off? And you're like, you fucking ruined it,
Probably, not that I remember specifically, but I like, again, so I was on one ship, but there's like however many ships there are in the Navy. So I'm sure that happens somewhere.
You got to realize too, the people that join the military, various reasons why people join the military, right? But there's always that one kid that I'm like, you put your boots on and then your socks.
Yeah.
You have to. There's no way.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you opening your mouth, you'd probably,
Yep.
I don't think you know how to breathe. So that's
one
crazy.
of the other things I just remembered that was pretty cool that we did for morale was I think we only did this like twice, but we were able to. So again, my ship was an amphib, right? So amphibious ships, we have a well deck, and essentially we can take water into our ballast tanks that will lower the ass end of the ship into the water, so we can take on hovercrafts and stuff.
Okay.
Something that we did is that we would lower the well deck, take the water in, put the ship down in the water, and then like we could go swimming.
Yeah, I've seen that on like Facebook or whatever before. So that's pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. I've seen that and I'm like, damn, that was fun.
Yeah.
But damn, I don't want to be on a ship.
No.
It's crazy how like everyone asks me too. They're like you're in the Navy, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what are the ships like? And I'm like,
I don't know.
They're great. I go on them for 7 days. We stop in Bahamas. We stop in Bermuda. Then I get off and I go back home. And you know, I'm like, I honestly don't know. Like I did my research kind of sort of when I joined. I knew I wanted to do something that would not only benefit me in the military to learn and have good outreach, but also when I get out of the military potentially, I have a trade of being a plumber. Same for you, being a cook. Not only that is like if something in my house breaks plumbing wise, I could probably fix it. Yeah. And cooking is essential. You have children too, right?
Yeah.
So
I got 3 kids.
Yeah, and your wife, you are just nonstop cooking. That's a good skill.
Yeah.
I bet you learned.
She does a lot of cooking too, but I mean, no, they don't teach you any cool shit in CSA school. No, they just teach you the basics.
They teach you how to boil the water.
Yeah, they teach you how to make food, but not like how to cook.
Yeah, I always wondered like what your like advancement test is. Like,
so the advancement test
this is
like,
a fork. This is a spoon.
So, all right. So, for instance, like I mentioned before, being in the wardroom, wardroom is where the officers go to eat, and it's kind of like fine dining, right? So
yeah, fun.
Yeah, so they
got the circle ice cubes.
Exactly. So they got their plate, right? But then like it's like a stack of 3 plates. So they got their salad plate, and then they have their entree plate, and then like something else, and then they have like their soup spoon, a teaspoon, and like whatever the fuck else, and they got like
for what?
It's all going down the same fucking pole. So saying. Like it's, but yeah, that's stupid. Go ahead.
No. So I was gonna say, so now you transition, like deployment's over, right? And like, what is like your going home kind of morale on the ship? Is it like is it a week long? Is it like a month long? Like when do you finally?
So like when we pull back in and we're taking leave and stuff.
No, like from like your last destination where you're like, hey, like we're at pick a place and we're gonna drive home now, right?
Okay.
Like so on that way home, like what's the morale of the ship? How are things running?
So, all right. So I'm gonna go from like the beginning deployment. So my ship was in Norfolk. We left. We went to Spain. That's where we stopped first. We were only in Spain. We were in Spain for like less than 24 hours because we pulled in at like midday or like 1400, like 2 o'clock. That's when we were like moored and people could start getting off the ship. But I was standing watch that day, so I had to stay until like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then was able to leave the ship for a little while. One of my second class this time, because I was a E3, he got fucking shit faced, fucked up.
And we've all been there.
Yeah, we had to help him. We had to help him like get down the ladder wells and everything in the ship. It was bad.
Well, good thing the ladder wells go down and not up.
Yeah, it was bad. Like he threw up in the head, in the bathroom, and like fell asleep on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, but that goes along with the rules where it's like, you're an adult, so don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Don't get in trouble. And if you're in a foreign country, don't get in trouble with foreign nationals and or their military.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. You can tell that to the Marines as much as you want. That doesn't mean they're going to listen.
Well, that's a different, you have to sign a different waiver when you join the Marines. It's like, the yellow crayon tastes like yellow. You don't have to try it, and just
don't do any stupid shit.
Just good luck.
Yeah.
Just good luck. We get it.
Yeah.
know? So now you guys are on your way home.
So we went to Spain there for a day. After that, we went to Israel. We were there for 2 days or 3 days, something like that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Got to take a tour to go see Jerusalem. That was
Whoa,
awesome.
Okay.
And then we left. And so between Spain and Israel, so leaving home port, going to Spain was about 3 weeks. Going from Spain to Israel was about 2. Going from Israel to where we went next was Oman, which is the name of the city, I believe, but it was Muscat is the name of the country, I believe. Again, somewhere in the Middle East. I think it's around Qatar.
The fuck if I know.
All good. I think that was around 3 weeks or a month.
Man, what are you guys fucking driving backwards?
And then going from Oman to Bahrain was when it took us like almost 50 days or so. And then, but that was because the ship was having some issues with the engines. So
Okay.
we were like,
You can't put up no sail and let the wind carry
yeah,
you.
no,
Don't work
not
like
at all.
that.
No. So we pull into Bahrain and we were there for like 9 days, I think.
Okay.
So we got a decent amount of time off the ship there. And then going from, that was the last port that we were going to hit before we started heading back home. So we hit Bahrain there for 9 days and we started heading back. And the last port we hit heading back was Spain again, just to like refuel, replenish stores, whatever. And so when you're going east, right? Because it's the Middle East. When we're going east, you're losing sleep.
I believe it.
So like once you hit a certain time zone, every night, especially if the ship's still continuing to travel, you're losing an hour of sleep. That shit fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
But like on the way home, it's great because now you're gaining an hour of sleep every night.
Yep.
So it's like this is.
Could you imagine being the dude on watch and like your watch is from like pick an hour till 4 a.m. and it's like 12 and he's like, great, only 4 more hours, and then 20 minutes later he's like, all right, I'm done. Like, that's lit, you know.
So it was like that is awesome, but then like when you're going out, it is good, but then like when you're coming back, it sucks because it'll be like, let's say your watch is supposed to end at like balls midnight.
Yeah.
So like it's balls. I'm about to get off, and you're like, nah, you got another hour.
You gotta
like,
make sure you're friends with whoever your first class is to make the watch bill in your favor.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Or at least even if you can't get a good time to be on the watch, just have like good people on your watch.
Okay.
Because that's like real important too, because like being able to like having camaraderie with like another person, or just being able to coke and joke and just like pass the time, it helps alleviate the sleepiness, the stress, whatever else bullshit on the ship is going on. So yeah. But then going from Spain back to the U.S., it was about 2 weeks. I'll tell you what, though. You said you haven't been on a ship. That's kind of a good thing because coming back. So we left for deployment in June, the end of June, June 25th. We got back Christmas Eve. Coming back across the Atlantic during the winter, she is a bitch.
Yeah.
We were secured to our berthings for 3 days because the seas were so bad. Yeah.
How much do you feel that ship?
No.
Wow.
So
you
my
ever seen Deadliest Catch?
Huh?
You ever seen Deadliest Catch?
Just like
that's
that.
what I can compare it to.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like that. Not as, I don't know, because they're all the way up in like by like Alaska and whatnot. So the seas up there are way worse. But like
also the size of the ship is completely different.
Yeah,
you know, so
too.
The smaller the ship, the bigger the wave.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But like we definitely had waves. Like I was up on the pilot house. That's where like the steering wheel essentially, because I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Whelm.
Yeah.
Helm.
Helman. Yeah.
We were close.
Yeah, close enough. That's where helmsman. That's where it is. That's where like the person steering the ship is, and like you can go up there and like look out through the windows to see like the forecastle, so the front of the ship, and like the waves and everything. And waves were coming up and breaking over the forecastle of the ship. It was pretty fucking nuts. Yeah.
Is that like the scariest part about coming home?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. There's like, it also depends on your personal life, depending on what's going on, because there's always, you know what, you ever heard of a Jody?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's always a Jody.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what a Jody is, look it up.
Yeah.
And for those of you who do know, I mean, yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. You've been on a ship for how many years?
So I got on my ship in August of 2015, and I didn't leave until January of 2020. So like 4 years and 8 months, something like that.
Now, out of all of that time, 4 years and 8 months, give or take, what's your most memorable story or memorable experience?
Memorable experience. Probably, well, there's a couple of them.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So one of them, we were on deployment, a buddy of mine, he was teaching me how to box. And yeah, so we got headgear on, we got the gloves on, and we're just down in the well deck. There's Marines walking around, working out, doing other stupid shit. They also do their Krav Maga down there, or whatever the hell they call it, because I can't fucking remember. But they're doing their own training, and me and my buddy he's teaching me how to box, so he's teaching me how to like throw punches properly and how to land them or whatever. And like we're kind of like beating up on each other, and then like the CO walks past. He's like, if either you end up in sick bay, I'm gonna put my boot up your ass. And I was like, you got it, sir.
Yeah, he had to be that father figure. Yeah. It's like, listen, you're doing it safely. You got headgear on and you got gloves on.
Yeah.
But if any of you, if that steak and lobster is not cooked medium fucking rare, there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So that was definitely one of them. Another one was just hitting the ports was like great. So like for instance, like I mentioned before, when you do hit a port on deployment, everybody's got to stand a watch, right? Because it needs to be kind of like equal where everybody's getting liberty.
Yes, and you can't leave the ship like, oh man, it doesn't work like that.
Exactly, that's a no. So one of the times that we pulled in, we were in Oman. Again, we were there for like 3 or 4 days or something like that, and I was supposed to have 2 days of liberty or something like that, and somebody offered to pay me to work one of their days for liberty, and again, it's only working like maybe 10 hours or something for the day. She paid me $300 to work for the day for her, and it was funny because like I wanted to buy a new laptop because mine was like crapping out on me. So she paid me, went out, bought a new laptop, didn't even like spend any money.
Yeah, there you go. And all you had to do was just stand watch for fucking 8 hours or whatever however long your watch was. Yeah.
One of the other ones was like, this was when we were back in home port. Actually, yeah, we were back in home port. Me and my buddy, he's like my brother. He's another cook. We had the best watch. So that's what we call our crew, our team. So it was me and him were the only two cooks on our watch because we were in dry dock at the time. So we were cooking off the barge for the crew and everything. And we had like 4 or 5 FSAs. FSAs are food service attendants. Usually somebody else in the ship.
We have those too.
Yeah, that comes and works for the cooks for 3 or 4 months, something like that.
Yeah. Hey, wash some dishes.
Yeah, exactly.
Until I tell you stop.
Yeah. Go clean the mess decks. Yeah. Some bullshit. So at the time we had 4-section duty for the cooks. So each watch had 2 cooks and then like 4 or 5 FSAs. So me, my buddy, his name's Chase. Either refer to him like that. Me and Chase, we had the best watch because like regardless of what it was that needed to get done, as soon as you told us we were going to do it, it was done as quickly as we could possibly do it. Yeah. And we were just like real hard. I don't want to say real hard, but we were like almost in a way like strict on our FSAs. Like you're going to do your job the right way because I don't want to hear about it because then it's going to make us stay late. And I know you don't want to be here any more than I want to be here. So like, let's do our job the right way so we can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. One team, one fight.
Exactly.
You know? Let's just do what we got to do and
quit fucking around. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
So one of the cool things about that was like almost any time we wanted or needed something, especially us being like the best watch, we got it like no questions asked.
Easy.
And then one of the other times was when we're supposed to have a 72 that weekend, and normally as a cook you don't get a 72 because the crew is always there. They need to eat. There's people that live on the ship, so you always got to be at work pretty much. We had come into work that day, and we were cooking. We made breakfast, and we finished everything between breakfast, the cleaning thereafter, whatever other training bullshit needed to get done. We almost walked away having a 96 that weekend. We got out with like 89 hours or something like that.
Keyword though, almost.
Yeah. But I mean, it was those, I don't know, it was fun times because it's like, again, he was like my brother, so we're always there having a good time, fucking around, just getting shit done. And like the crew knew that we were some of the best cooks. So like whenever they saw us there, they were like, shit's gonna be good tonight. I don't need to worry about
good work ethic.
Yeah, I don't need to worry about ordering food off of the ship today. For the people that, because like for instance, you got watch standers that have to stay on the ship overnight.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, depending on who was working, like I'm just gonna order Domino's or McDonald's, or I'm gonna go, because there was a Domino's and McDonald's on base. There was a Wendy's, some other shit, and so they would just leave the ship, be like, "Hey, chief, can I go get something? Can I go pick something up? Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah, do what you gotta do. Come back. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's dope. Now, what would you say? So those are some great stories, and you got to meet some cool people that you're probably still homies with.
Yeah.
But what are some of your worst experiences on a ship? Because
So,
there's obviously good and bad to every story.
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely, right. So going back to deployment again,
It's always on deployment.
It's always on deployment. We had this batshit crazy senior chief, right? She was like a second mother to me, but batshit crazy.
I mean, that's that's usually the people that kind of become your mentors.
Yeah.
Because the people that are so hard on you and just ride you with every little thing that you cannot stand are usually the people who help you succeed the most. But no one wants that.
Yeah, but it was like that, but then it wasn't also. Could be wrong. Pretty sure she has bipolar disorder.
I mean, we're in the military. We all got something wrong with us.
Something wrong with us. But yeah, so we'd be cooking lunch or fucking dinner or something, right? She'd come in the galley, start chopping it up with us, coking and joking. She'd leave for like an hour or two, come back and just start fucking tearing into everybody's ass. Galley's fucking filthy. This is nasty. This is dirty. And then she'd like send the first classes to see us once to go wake up night crew, who's supposed to be coming in like 4 or 5 hours, and then they'd come upstairs. Everybody would be fucking cleaning after the meal was over, and then we wouldn't get off until like midnight, and then we'd have to be back in at like 4 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
So you get 3 hours of sleep, because now everybody's down in the berthing fighting to take a shower and then get to sleep. And yeah, so, and then like that would happen. She'd come in, and then like that schedule change from 4 to 12 would be for like a week. So sleep deprivation sets in.
Yeah.
Not that like everything is fucking funny at that point.
Is that usually in the beginning, the middle, or the end?
Whenever the fuck she wanted.
Oh, whenever it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe if it's in the beginning, it's to like change your sleep schedule.
So it was more in like the middle around, because it happened a couple times, like 2 or 3 times, where everybody's kind of getting complacent, everybody's getting tired of being on deployment. We all just want to be back home.
Yep.
And like get off the ship, and like not just get off the ship and have liberty, but like be able to go to our homes and relax, see our family, shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I mean, you take this headspace and you bring it home. That's always not a good situation.
Exactly.
Okay, so now you finally get back, right? It was a smooth sail from wherever you were back to the States?
No. So when we were...
Why would it be?
No, of course not, right? Nothing is ever easy. So when we were... Forgive me, because I can't remember exactly what body of water it was. It was either Strait of Gibraltar, Hormuz, something like that.
Pick a place.
Something. All I remember is we were off the coast of Yemen or something. It was... So we're traveling through the strait. We're being escorted by a DDG. We had an LHD with us also. So a DDG is a destroyer. LHD is another amphib. But they have... The whole top of the ship is like a flight deck.
Okay.
But they also have a well deck, so they can take on hovercraft and stuff. Excuse me. That LHD fucking sucked, by the way, because they were breaking down like all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's they're big. It's hard to take care of, I guess, and they're probably old. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Google it.
So I don't fucking exactly. But again, traveling through that body of water and off the coast of Yemen, whether it had been ISIS or some other Middle Eastern group, whoever it was.
It was bad people.
It was bad people.
Okay, bad people.
Yeah. So we're traveling, and 2 RPGs are inbound to the ship, and one flies right over the flight deck, if I remember correctly, and the other one falls in the water or splashes down like right before it got to the ship. Something that the ship has is called chaff. It's like confetti almost. It's like, but it's like shrapnel,
like flares.
Yeah,
right?
Well, kind of, sort of.
And Call of Duty, we go. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
So it's like shrapnel confetti. So it's supposed to like shoot out and destroy the RPG or whatever it is that's inbound before it gets to the ship. That didn't work. Like they tried to set it off, and like it didn't come out.
They didn't change the batteries.
Probably something that, or the remote controller died, or just wasn't connected. Some bullshit.
It was the Xbox controller.
Yeah, like the fucking,
yeah.
So went into GQ immediately. In case there was another one inbound. Fucking as much as you can be cool, calm, and collected in that situation. Everybody's like going fucking nuts.
Yeah, like what the
yeah, right.
Like
and
this couldn't happen in the beginning of the
or like maybe not at all.
Yeah. I mean, granted, knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly. So that happened. We're in GQ for like 8 or 12 hours or something while we're finishing traveling through. And like I said, we were being escorted by DDG. It was the USS Mason. There are some nautical miles ahead of us. They turn around, start hauling ass back. And I can't remember the name of the missiles, but they shot off some missiles, and like wherever the bad people were, they just fucking lit that whole area up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's probably the best news that you heard.
Yeah.
You were like, thank God. Like,
yeah.
If my safety is in jeopardy, and I'm in the military, I want to be protected.
Exactly.
Also, if I'm like defenseless, like I can't go personally. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
So that's
something that was kind of cool that came out of it was you ever heard of a car? Not like a vehicle car, but like the car, the medal or the award. So it's a
combat action ribbon.
Yes.
Okay.
So
you had to give me a second to be like,
all good. But yeah, we got one of those out of it.
Yeah.
So like we'll go around, especially whenever we're in our whites or our blues or whatever, or NSU's dress uniforms, whatever the fuck, right? And like higher ups that have been in for a while, like they know what it is, but they don't have them. They're like, how the fuck did you get that? And we're like,
yeah.
Shout out on deployment.
I have one of my buddies. Shout out Iggy. You know a kid Mungia?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. I don't know. But he was in like kind of the same situation where his ship got shot at too.
Mm-hmm.
And he got one of those ribbons. But he was on Des prior. So then when he actually struck his rate, as we say, he went to A school and he showed up to like A school with all these brand new boots. And he had awards like NAMS. And
yep. Oh, so he was like a fleet returnee.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
He went on Des and he was just riding on Des until he struck his rate. And he showed up and where the fuck did you get that? Yeah. Like we call them in boot camp, we call them ship 1, 2, whatever, pick a number.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's not a real ship. So like, how the fuck did you get that?
Exactly.
And he was like, I was on a ship, So that's dope. Okay, well, that's not dope. What happened to you and your crew and your ship. But thank God that's over and no one was hurt.
No. Not that I remember.
Maybe just some spirits, but
probably
no one
like
physically.
That.
That's good. All right, so that's over. You finally get home, and you have to adjust. Like everyone knows who's been in the military or is still currently in the military, there's that adjusting period when you have to kind of get back to reality where you're like, all right, I have a car to take care of. I have bills to pay. I have a wife. I have kids.
Yep.
And I need to kind of change my mood and my attitude to not set them off.
Yeah.
Because maybe your wife is like, you've been gone for 6 months and I've had these kids and I am at my point. I love you. I missed you, but I just need a day.
Yeah.
Right? So do you have any advice or tips of how you were able to reconnect with the land life, I guess you guys would call it? I don't know.
Really? Take it slow. Just because, like, again, you've been gone for 6 months. Yeah. So things can be, again, the way they used to be, but, like, you're not, you've been gone for 6 months. Yeah. The person you remember your wife being in your head is not the person she is now because before you saw her every day.
Yeah.
Before you saw your kids every day, she saw you every day.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've had to adjust to become these independent people of each other, and it's gonna be odd being together again.
And your communication using phones or social media or whatever you use to communicate is not like it is when you're on land compared to the ship, correct? Okay,
Exactly.
so, yeah, for us, we're on land. I can just buy Wi-Fi or just get a SIM card or call T-Mobile and be like, "Hey, I'm in pick a country
wherever. I need some data."
It's not like that on a ship, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think
you can't. Like there are certain phones that can call home.
Okay.
But they're in secured spaces, and like you again, unless you got a good job where you can get like the hookup for stuff like that. So again, being a cook.
Okay. Yeah.
You can.
I got some cookies. You got minutes?
Exactly. And it was funny though, because like, so the ship has to pay for that stuff, and like the amount of like minutes or like hours or whatever it was like freaking through the roof of like how much people were calling home.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I don't think the CO knew for a while, and then like he had them disconnect a lot of the phones that were able to do it. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, because one day he's like, I guess it's like, allowed time or something, or situation dictates of like when you're allowed to actually use said phones for, personal business. And one day he just looks at me like,
what the fuck is going on right now?
Like, get the Marines in here, because why do they try to call Domino's 87 fucking times? Like, Domino's is not coming out here.
Dude, nah.
I know Uber Eats and DoorDash have helicopters, but they are not making this fucking trip. No. That's wild. All right, so when you get back home and you stay on the ship, right? Like, is it like a stay in the ship for like the work day, and then you go home for Liberty and all that stuff? Like, you still maintain the ship?
Depending on your home port life, right? You can. It also depends on your rank, and then if you make enough money, or if you and your buddies decide to get an apartment together or something, right? You can get an apartment off base or obviously off ship. But there's like military housing that you can get, but then like if you're getting BH, they take all your BH.
Yeah.
So then you can find an apartment that's like below your BH. That way you still pocket some of it for your bills, yada yada, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I had my apartment with, she's not my ex-wife, but I had my apartment, and then so I'd be there, go to work, go home.
Okay. Was that apartment on base or was it off?
It was off base. It was like 12 minutes from base or something. It wasn't that far.
Okay.
But yeah.
When you get home, everyone has freedom to basically do whatever they want on their own time.
Yeah.
Does that cause a lot of problems? Are people getting into trouble a lot?
Yes and no. People were getting in more trouble on deployment than they were when we were home port on Liberty.
Okay.
There was still stupid shit happening.
Yeah.
Like
anywhere.
Yeah. Like this one guy, he got drunk, decided to drive his car and crash into somebody's house.
I wish people didn't make stupid decisions that would
he didn't like destroy the house.
Yeah, but himself, like he could have got hurt, and maybe his family would have been devastated.
Yeah.
And plus the car and the legal fees, and
no
one ever thinks about that. Like getting like a DUI, especially in the military, is one, bad because it's going to affect your career dramatically.
Yeah.
Two, legal fees and issues. They always say it's like $10,000 off the rip.
Yeah.
For like a DUI.
Exactly.
Just because of legal fees and your insurance and DMV fees and so on and so forth. Where it's just not worth it.
So funny story, right? Because you said DUI. Buddy of mine from the ship, who shall remain unnamed, he's out of the Navy now, but he's going to remain unnamed.
That's fine. That's fine.
He had gotten a DUI, and normally I don't really know the sequence of events, but like normally the police station notifies like your command that like you've been arrested for a DUI or whatever, right? And I don't know, I guess they didn't notify the command, and he didn't tell them that he was in the Navy or something like that, or they knew he was in the Navy, but he didn't tell them. I don't know what the fuck happened exactly. But normally when your command finds out that you've got a DUI, you've been arrested for drunk driving or some shit, you go to captain's mast, so NJP, whole nine, drop down in rank, half month's pay times X amount of months.
Yeah, restriction,
Exactly.
The whole nine.
Exactly.
It ain't worth it.
Yeah, no, don't do it. Don't do it. So he didn't tell the command, and the police station didn't tell the command. So he kept quiet about it for as long as he could.
Until eventually.
No, they never found out about it. Never found out about it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, not, but
Exactly.
in the sake of everything we just said about, how it dramatically affects your military career, I always think honesty is the best policy, so I probably would have played it a little different. I know I probably sound like maybe a bitch for that, but I just don't like to have a guilty conscience. But I also commend him for that, because that's something tough to keep.
Yeah.
That's something.
I was because again, he was my buddy, and I was close with one of the personnel rates, and I was like, hey, what would happen if a service member failed to mention to the command that they got a DUI, and then the command found out about it later? Oh, they'd be fucked.
Yeah, real bad.
Throwing the whole fucking book at him. I was like, oh,
yeah,
God.
They get mad if you tell them you're gonna be late, and then they get really pissed if you tell them that you got married, but you didn't tell them that. You just one day they're like, all right, Liberty call, don't fuck up. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Monday morning, you got a ring on your finger, and they're like, what did I say on Friday? What the fuck did you not understand about? Don't do dumb shit. It's at least I don't care you did it. It's your legal right to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But just tell me so we can get you going and get you everything you're supposed to get for you and your wife.
Exactly.
But I see that all the time where people just leave on a Friday and they have that look in their eyes, and then they come back Monday with a bigger look in their eyes, and they're like, silicone, baby. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. You fucking married one of the girls from the strip club over the weekend.
Oh yeah. Something must have went down.
Yeah, because we had that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, for anyone listening on the topic of DUI, if you or anybody who has a problem and do need help, in the description below, I'll include this on all socials as well. There is help out there. If you need it, or if you know somebody who needs it, reach out. It's always free, especially for military.
Yeah.
It's a big thing, that and suicide. So,
yep.
Yeah, I just want
to... Military One Source, that's another one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was one you're referring to, but...
Any of them. There's a million of them out there. Even, just if you don't want to use any of those sources, hit up your family, a friend, somebody,
Somebody.
Everyone needs someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And no one can just do everything on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. I'm glad you never got into trouble with that.
Well. I got in some trouble.
But no DUI related?
No DUI related.
Okay.
So,
you park in a handicap spot?
Nah.
Oh. Okay.
I got a firearm charge.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they let you shoot the cannon?
I wish, but no. So we got back from deployment in December. My oldest daughter's birthday is in March. Going home for her birthday, and got into it with her in-laws that came after me pretty much, and I had my handgun with me, which was legal down in Virginia, but I had gone to the range earlier the day I had decided to drive up, or the day that I was driving up.
Oh, okay.
And it was in its case and everything, so it wasn't just sitting out.
Yeah, it was all separated.
Yeah. Exactly. So
documentation, all that good. It was just
again, New York has stupid gun laws.
Oh, you were in New York. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're coming at. So my in-laws are coming after me, and I go to defend myself. I'm leaving the residence because again they're coming after me with knives and baseball bats. I'm in my truck, peeling off. They're getting in their car. I have my handgun, pull it out, put it in the air, not pointing at anybody, in the air. Fire off one round as a warning shot. If you keep chasing me, I'm gonna defend myself. I will.
I am scared for my life right
now.
Yeah,
I will defend myself. So go down the road. I don't know, 5-10 minutes. They call the police. I end up getting arrested. The interesting thing about it, though, right, is my Big Navy legal found out about it, I would have been separated like damn near on the spot. But so again, I was arrested and everything. The whole court process started, and then like the whole court process was over a year later. And again, so I kept my chain of command informed of the whole process when I was arrested, going through the whole court thing, the whole nine. At the time, I was my CO's cook, and so essentially, I'm catering to him. So when we were on deployment, any special meals I made for him and the XO or any other special guest that we had on board, I took care of his laundry. So I would pick it up, bring it down to at the time they're called the SHs. I think they're RSs now, but I take it down to the SHs where all the laundry washing machines are. They'd wash it, press it. I'd bring it back up to him, put it away in whatever drawers or whatever. Take care of anything that he needed. I was pretty.
You were like his right hand when it came to
exactly
just his luxury of life.
Exactly. So again, got in trouble. Kept my chain of command informed of everything that was going on.
That's good. You did it by the book.
Yeah, and God bless them, and like one of them just got out, and I think the other one I'm not sure if he's still in or if he got out, but again, God bless them. They didn't tell Big Navy, and so that's why like I'm still in to this day, because again, I would have got kicked out like almost immediately.
Yeah.
And so they covered my ass. They had my back. It was awesome.
That's good. I mean, that's what happens when you have a good work ethic and you're a good sailor. Is like you have your command to, kind of have your back in a sense.
Yeah.
And that you went the right way and actually said like, hey, like this is what's going on. Like I'm okay. I'm handling all of the legal issues, like by the book, everything's good. Like I'm going to be fine. I just want to let you guys know my situation. And they were like, you're good until, we need to do otherwise, but you never reached that point.
Yeah.
So that's good, man. That's like the best thing to do is like have, just be a good person and then people will treat you good as well.
Exactly.
So, well, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
But also, I don't blame you at all. I mean, if I'm by myself and people are rushing down a driveway, like a narrow driveway, and I'm in reverse and they have weapons and they're running at me, I'm like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how good of a driver you are in that situation and you're adrenaline pumping. It's hard to go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, all right. So we segue from that. I thought you just, maybe pulled into a handicap spot and went to the ball. All right. Well, I mean, we all have pasts.
We all do.
That's actually thank you for sharing that story. That's actually I had no clue.
No problem.
I had no clue. So now after all that's done, you said this was your ex-wife, so now you're with your current wife, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's my fiance. We're gonna be getting married in the next year or so because I'm gonna be getting out soon.
Okay.
And then we're moving up to some property that my family owns, and we're probably just gonna get married up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good shit. Do you have any plans for when you go up there? Like, what do you?
Yeah. So what like homesteading is? Kind of, sort of.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, so no, that's all right.
What the hell is even that? What in the Copenhagen?
So homesteading is like living off the land, growing a lot of your own food, raising your own animals to
I got you.
eat. So yeah, doing all that.
That sounds kind of dope.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense. I mean, I grew up my whole life thinking like cows came from like Costco. I didn't know we had farms and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My backyard, there was no grass.
Yeah, no.
We had, a little 12 by 12 pad of concrete covered in, chalk.
Yep.
That was about it. My grandma would be in the third story window. When the streetlights came on, I got my ass inside.
Yep.
Or there was a bucket of dirty mop water that would just get launched.
Yep.
And then you got to go inside and explain why you're dirty. And I'm like, because you threw it at me. And they're like, well, why did I throw it at you? And you're like, because it wasn't inside. Yeah. All right. So you, your fiance, and soon-to-be wife, and all your kids going to go up there and go do all that? That's dope. That's dope. Do you have any plan of... in the foreseeable future of how you're going to prepare for that?
Yes and no. I mean, I got money saved up so that like when we go up there, I got I got a cushion to
Okay, good.
to like help us or whatever, a cushion, so until I get another job. And then I mean, the property is my grandparents, and God bless my grandfather, he just passed away, but my grandmother, she's still up there, and just gonna be living in the house with her pretty much, and then we're gonna purchase the property from her and just kind of do our thing.
Just build a house from square one?
Yeah.
From the
So the house right now is got like 3 bedrooms, and then like a small apartment above the two-car garage. And so we're just gonna be living in the house together. But like me and my fiance Kira, we want to have more kids, or we want to have kids together. And the house that's there currently is not big enough for us to have any more kids. So we're gonna end up building a house.
But also, like, every man's dream is just to, like, build the house that, one, makes his wife happy.
Oh yeah.
And two, to build the house that makes her happy and also gives you that little section of the house
Yeah.
where you're like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You wanted your fucking white trim black cabinets with your farmhouse sink, and you went, well, go fucking use it. I'm gonna be in here, playing Madden.
Exactly.
Chilling. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Exactly.
Well, that's dope. And do you have neighbors around you? Is that like
the closest one is he's like a minute down on the road, but like
okay.
But like the town we're gonna be living is like one is all old people, minus like a couple of the teenagers for the one guy that's got kids down the road, but it's like 75 people. It's a tiny little town out in the boonies.
No Walmart.
Yeah, I think the closest Walmart's like an hour away.
That's okay though. I guess like when you plan like that, like you plan for shit like that. We're like, hey, like everyone get in the car, we're going to the store, and you buy everything you need.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, like when we make a trip to the store, we're making a trip to the store.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so where's your fiance from?
She's so the property's in Vermont. She's from New Hampshire, Maine. That's where a lot of her family lives. And so we're kind of gonna be right up back in her stomping grounds because we're gonna be like
she's used to it.
Yeah.
Oh well, that makes life
kind of sort of because like where we're gonna be at is like 60 miles from the Canadian border. So it's like way up there, and it's in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's like -40 in the winter.
Yeah, stay inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay in GQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, hey, man, I wish the best for you. I hope everything that you plan for you, your kids, and your fiance works out the way you planned it. I do have to ask, do you wish you would have done anything different with your military career?
Yes and no. So, like,
okay.
For instance, you're a CB. After being in for a while, I had wished that I had gone CB or at least looked more into the CB rates. I think to some degree, every guy that joins has considered going like SEAL or SWIC. So I definitely thought about that.
Yeah. Everyone sees the commercial and you're like,
that looks dope.
Yeah. I want light bright and I want one of those.
Yep. So that, but not too much of the stuff. Like there's other avenues that I could have gone down being a CS, like enlisted aid. But I've heard nightmare stories of being enlisted aid. So it's like working for like an admiral or like a captain that is like a CEO of the base. And so like you're at their house cooking for them, making sure their house is good to go and stuff. And some of them are just fucking straight dickheads.
Yeah. I mean, you also want to, I guess one benefit of the military is like, when you work with so many people, there's so many people coming and going.
Yeah.
So no matter what, if you don't like your chain of command or you don't get along with who you work with, they're either going to be leaving or
you're going to be leaving.
It's going to change a lot. Like for a normal civilian job, it's not how it works. People do their job because that's their job, and
exactly.
They want to get a pension, retire, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any advice for someone who would want to potentially join the military?
Do your research. do your research for whatever jobs you're interested in, or if there's not any jobs that you're interested in, or if you don't know about any of the jobs, like there's Facebook groups of like everything these days. So I'm sure that depending on whatever job it is, you can find a Facebook group for it and be like, hey, look, I'm interested in getting in the military. This is a job I'm looking at. What do you guys like about it? What do you guys hate about it? Just fucking give me the brutal, honest truth.
Is there any good benefits that the military has offered you that you've taken advantage of and actually used?
So you get your GI Bill, but I haven't used it yet. I'm probably going to use it when I get out, because I'll probably go to like vocational school for like construction, carpentry, plumbing, or to become like an electrician or something like that.
Yeah, well, if you're going to build a house, you better. I don't care how much YouTube you watch. It's going to be difficult.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be good to have like the hands-on skill.
Exactly.
Because you can use your GI Bill for college, a trade school, even like little like certificate programs, like, you know.
Like cybersecurity and stuff.
Yeah, you can literally do a lot of it while you're in the military to get as many certs as you can. And then when you transition out, you can use your GI Bill to pay for the rest of those. And then you get out being like a, you know, cybersecurity tech or a safety person on a project, whatever, you know, that you got to do your research into it to find out, you know, take full advantage of everything that the military will offer you. Because as soon as you get out, it'll be a lot harder to figure shit like that out. Yeah. Unless you join every Facebook group possible and actually get someone who can, like, you know, guide you in the right direction.
Exactly.
Now, as far as being on a ship, right? So, for an example, one thing that I like to preach to the younger people who come into, like, you know, a battalion or my community is whenever we go on field training exercises, we have to pack clothes, right? And we live in the fucking trenches for weeks. And it's miserable. There's no laundry. There's nothing. You piss in a porta shitter and you're on watch for 18 hours a day. So I always like to give like little tips and tricks of like what to bring, what not to bring, how to pack your clothes. Is there any advice you can give to people who go on deployment that might be like, damn, fuck, this guy brought his DS. Like, I wish I did that. You know, like something
stuff like that. Something that like help boost your morale. So like bringing a DS, because again, so like let's say you bring a whole console. Now you got to make sure that you either get into the berthing at a time where like nobody else is using the TV, or you got to find a space where nobody's using the TV. So that can be kind of a hassle. But they make those portable gaming system things
like
where you can.
It's a little briefcase.
Yeah, it's got the 12-inch or 16, whatever fucking size it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then just don't bring all of your fucking clothes, because like everybody's gonna be coming from like home or college or wherever the hell you were before you were in the Navy or before you joined the military. You're not gonna have enough room for all your stuff unless you're like a minimalist. So like
it's a tight space to put all your shit.
Yeah, your rack is fucking like 6 feet, 6.5 feet long, maybe 7 feet long, and it's got like maybe 8 inches of space, and like 3 of that is like your mattress. So you've got 5 inches of space under your mattress to like store stuff in your open up rack. And then like you got a locker and stuff, but again, still like it's not like you have an apartment for you to put all your stuff in. So just
like that locker's for like your uniform shit, because you don't want to fuck it up and then you got to get it
creased and all that. Yeah. So just bring 5, 6, 7 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, all your underwear, all your socks.
Yeah, make sure you bring your fucking underwear.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy that's like,
oh my God,
shit. Is there necks on this boat? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
So you got the ship store. I'm not sure if they'll sell. I can't remember if my ship store sold underwear. And
they fucking
like
better.
Yeah. In a situation like that, you better fucking hope so.
Yeah.
But so yeah, just 5, 6, 7 shirts, couple pairs of pants, couple pairs of shoes. Because again, like you're not gonna be. It's not a fucking fashion show. Like you're just gonna be if you're on deployment or even if you're living on the ship in port, you're gonna be going out in town every day. But again, you're not like, unless you're trying to impress somebody, which we're all adults, nobody's really impressed like that. So
but also like, you know, you grew up in pick a state, right? Let's say like Arkansas or Arkansas, as other people say. I don't know. you go to all these different ports and all these different countries, and you see all these different cultures and shit, and you want to buy souvenirs and you want to buy stuff.
Yeah.
So you got to have room to bring all that stuff home with you.
Exactly.
You can't just like
fucking
leave.
Fill your rack full and then like buy all this stuff.
I bet you've seen so many of those people where you're like, dude, like
you brought way too much shit, or just like people that just like don't clean themselves. That shit's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, so don't be that guy who brings everything with them, and then is that one guy who's just ruining the berthing for everybody else because you bought so much shit, and I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, is there anything that I didn't go over or didn't ask that you wish to say?
So there was this one story. It's more so just kind of funny. We had this supervisor. I'm gonna leave it at that. He probably like 6'4" or something, big black dude, but he was fucking fugly.
Oh, okay.
But he couldn't really spit game, but he was kind of funny, but he had a wife and a kid, and so like he was almost always flirting with some of the other females on the ship, and I don't know if he just wasn't happy with his home life or what, but like anytime you saw him, he was talking to some female, and it was just
he was just having fun.
Yeah, something maybe, I don't know, but he was talking to one of the other crew members. It was a female, and he was like, "Hey, you want to see a picture of my new shoes?" And he shows the picture of the new shoes, and it's like this or something. I don't know. But his dick is in the picture too.
Oh.
And yeah, it was bad because there was he had tried to get me in trouble a couple of times for like other dumb shit.
Yeah,
and
you do dumb shit. Yeah,
exactly. But like I was like this is not a good guy. Like he's doing all this shit and like nobody sees it, or y'all are just fucking turning a blind eye. Like this is bullshit. Like
this is not okay.
Yeah, and that was like the last straw. Like somebody created a Simeo case. He got fucking sent up to captain's mast, got knocked down to like a CS2 or fuck. He got knocked down to like a second class or a third class or something, and he was already at that point he would already been at his higher tenure, so he had to make it on this next exam or something that was coming up, or he was done. And so I don't remember what happened to him after that, because he got kicked off the ship and he was doing restriction on another ship while he was waiting to be assigned to whatever ship he was going to be on after that. But yeah, no, that was
good luck to him.
Yeah,
I bet those shoes must have been.
They must have been real nice, like those.
Yeah, that he wanted to just start showing everybody.
Yeah.
But all right, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out. Until next time.
See y'all later.